Simon Told Helen wins a half length. Zach Manelli second.
Welcome to Greyhound Gossip.
Peaky Blinders start cheering for Tommy Shelby wins the WA Sprint Championship final.
Featuring Peter O'Neill and Leia Ernest.
Mozza moves up to Mermaid Manelli. Fab's Gem 3 deep. Here comes Fab's Gem.
Hard Style Rico by 5 lengths to Simon Told Helen. Third Tommy Shelby.
This segment is dedicated to the discussion and promotion of greyhound racing.
Cindy's Oliver, Rockstar Patriot, Paul Stewart, back-to-back with Rockstar Patriot in the Galaxy.
Handsome Prince, a Boulder Clear, the former Tasmanian. Handsome Prince has won the $1 million chase.
And a very good morning, everyone tuned into TAB Radio this morning, and more importantly, Greyhound Gossip. And of course, a very good morning to you, Peter O'Neill.
And good morning, Leia. Good morning, everyone. Welcome along to Greyhound Gossip. Big weekend of greyhound racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was massive. We had feature racing at Mandurah on Friday as well as at Cannington on Saturday.
The Express Stake was the feature on Friday night, and we had a brilliant win by Robotnik for Lewis Clay, who was able to overcome box number 5, and it was a good weekend for the Levitsky Cameron Kavanagh kennel. They had a lot of success on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and a brilliant win. Lewis Clay's kennel's going very well and takes out the Express Stake. And then we went to Saturday night at Cannington, and we had the running of the Young Stars. Let's go back to the replay from Saturday night.
Favourite in 1 Electrified, and they're set. Ready. Racing. Electrified began quickly. Hinto also showed speed, then bumped with Zipping Wilbur, who showed speed, and coming across was Bellotti Manelli, and now up on the inside. Electrified pushed them all out of the way and went clear. Out by 5 lengths, trouble behind the leader. Kip Keeping gets through on the inside was Lupini Manelli, then followed by Bellotti Manelli. Couch Surfer on its outside was Hinto, then followed by Father Manelli, Zipping Wilbur, but off the back, Electrified went bang and raced away, and the Young Stars out by 5. Kip Keeping, Lupini Manelli, but Electrified race away is going to win the Young Stars by 12. Second goes to Lupini Manelli. Hinto is certainly beaten in behind.
A huge win there for Electrified and the Shinners. Kennel, Pete, you called all the action. It was a massive 11-length win for Electrified.
Yeah, I called it 12, but 11 and a quarter lengths, and absolutely dominated from the start. I probably went over the top with Hinto because he was beaten that 12 lengths behind Electrified, but he met all sorts of interference, but nothing from the winner because he's now won 11 of 14 over the distance. He's won 14 of 18 in his short career and took his stake earnings to well in excess of $110,000. He's a remarkable chaser. Well done to Crystal and Stephen. It was a tough week for the Shinners because Crystal's not greyhound, her pet that she bought across from America many years ago, unfortunately passed away earlier in the week. And so they're up in Bali. They missed the final. They would have seen it up there at one of the local pubs up there, I'm sure, but was well handled by Callum Robson back here in town. And this greyhound, he's just such a great chaser. He runs through brick walls. He had to actually overcome trouble into the first corner himself, but with the inside running, he was able to draw away. And he'll now go across and join up with his kennel mate, Amplified, who is across in Melbourne at the moment. And this greyhound, Electrified, will be set for the Silver Chief, the Group 1 in Melbourne during the December period. So looking forward to seeing how Electrified goes over there. And in fact, there's quite a few greyhounds that are in Melbourne for the heats of the Melbourne Cup and also the Bold Trees coming up this week. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. But last Monday, we had the final meeting of the Northern season, and what an exciting finish it was for the leading trainer, dog, and or not so much the dog, but the leading trainer and owner of the year award. And going into the last 2 races, Leia, we had Ryan Levitsky, also Tony Lopes, Brett Levitsky and Mark Howes. They were 1 win behind the leaders in the leading owner of the year award, and they won the last 2 races, and Henry Keeping won his 9th consecutive race and therefore took out the leading dog owners. And well done to Brad Cook for the leading trainer of the year award. Remarkable season for them.
Yes, indeed, and we're going to be chatting with Tony Lopes shortly, Pete.
Yeah, well, Tony's about to join us online, and just before we get to Tony, Leia, before you became a superstar in the greyhound industry, this man was bigger than all of us, Tony Lopes. He would do interviews trackside at Cannington. Every Saturday night he would go down there. He'd interview the winning handlers and owners after their races, and him and Craig Evans worked together for many, many years, and he was very entertaining. And we actually found in our library some of the entertainment from the great man Tony Lopes. And before we get to him, let's go back to how Tony used to entertain our listeners on what was then racing radio.
This is music in the river. I'm just a jealous guy. Beep, 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 beep.
Well, that is gold, Pete.
Yeah, Tony Lopes, and he joins us online. Successful winning owners up at Mandurah, but a superstar in his own right. Lopesy, good morning.
Oh, g'day, Peter. Yeah, that was a blast from the past. Good dad. A lot of fun trackside for a long time, and with the tipping and old punting. But it was fantastic. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, before we get to Monday and Henry Keeping, just go back to those days, and they were fond memories, weren't they, when you and Ryan got involved in greyhound racing as young lads, and then you got to work with Craig Evans and got to work with many of the stars of our industry trackside at Cannington, and it was great for our listeners, wasn't it, on TAB Radio, when there wasn't so much racing on, I suppose, when you had the chance to be able to interview them like we see now with Brittany Taylor after the races at Ascot on a Saturday.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, it was... Yeah, because that's right, we didn't have much on, and I used to chat to all the people and the handlers and the owners, and I used to know because used to go to the dogs all the time, met a few dogs racing, so I got to know everybody, and it was a good progression. I did it for a while, and then in the tipsters poll, and then we used to do Friday night tipping as well. So no, it was just a good progression from all my time at the track.
And how did you actually meet Ryan, and how old were you when you first got involved in greyhound racing?
I think I used to probably punt when I was probably about 17 there at the track. I met Ryan just at the TAB, and then we used to play a bit of cricket together and out at the park. And yeah, then we bought our first dog. I think we had a dog with a wizard, Colin Bainbridge, Miss Cass. We paid $300 for it, and we raced her for a while. And then we got quite a few dogs with Colin, and yeah, that's probably in the late 90s, Peter, we started off. Actually, our first dog was a dog called Burning Matt, and we trained it with the late Claude Powell. He trained the dog for us, and so probably the late 90s we got started, and then we got a few dogs together and we raced them probably ever since, really.
You've had a pretty good run over the weekend. I think you had another 2 winners yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, had a few winners yesterday, and the new boy we bought from Ipswich, Key Moment. Yeah, I think he's going to be a nice dog. He ran good time yesterday. We've got, pretty high hopes for him, so hopefully he can just keep injury-free and keep doing the job. But no, it was a good win yesterday. Yep.
And Moustache won his 20th race. He's had a few injury concerns, but great to see him back. How good will Key Moment be? I know he wasn't an expensive buy. He's a 300-metre greyhound. Will he be another Moustache, you're hoping?
Yes, I think so, Peter. We're hoping he'll be as good as him. I think he can be. Moustache kind of a bit more explosive. Once he hit the ground, he kind of zipped around him. This dog here is more just out the boxes. He'll be better. But no, I mean, he ran 15.88 yesterday, and he's only had his 10 starts, so it's well above what he's run even in trials so far. So it was a big step forward for him last night.
I know you're busy working in the fruit and veggie section, and we'll talk about what the specials are this week. But before we do that, last Monday, did you get to listen to the last 2 races up at Northern? Because you were behind. There was Tony Malia and also Tim. Name escapes me for the moment, but one other owner that was ahead of you in the Leading Owner of the Year award, and then you needed to win the last 2 races, and you did, and it come to Henry Keeping, who won his 9th consecutive race up there to get you the title.
Yeah, no, I watch it, Peter, because all the fellas that work here, Gilbert's Fresh Markets in Midland, good fellas, and they never really followed the dogs before, but they do now. And, I just had my coffee break and was watching the dogs. And, I was able to watch it. And Ryan actually mentioned to me earlier in the day that it was pretty close for Owner of the Year. And, it's good that Selena got the job done. Selena keeping, then Henry loves it up there, and he pinged out and got the cash. So, it was a good surprise, actually. But, well done to the dogs, for sure.
And did you get to celebrate with the trainer, Brad Cook? He's a great bloke, Brad. He had another successful season up there, and a remarkable dog, Henry, keeping to come. I think you purchased him after he'd won one race over in New South Wales, and then he's come across, and he's just been remarkable. He's now won 16 of 35.
No, we didn't get to celebrate with Brad, but we will be. We've got something planned, hopefully soon. But no, he's done a great job, Brad, with all his dogs, and those dogs, they're very inexperienced when they come. But the whole litter, they're good chasers. They've got speed. And Henry, he's been a bit stiff, really, because he started good, and then he had a bad fall at Mandurah and had a few injuries and drew middle boxes. But his first up run at Northern, where he missed a kick and he was really driving up and got flattened. And then I said to a friend of mine, I said, I'm going to have a nice bet on him the next week. But I chickened out. I never did. But then he came out and won in a row. So he's done a great job, Brad, with all his dogs and all our dogs. And he's a king of the short courses, and good on him. We thank him a lot for his efforts.
Yeah, we've had a few that slingshot out of the boxes. I remember you mentioned Miss Cass, and even Flying Beauty. She was a flying machine.
Yeah, with Colin, yeah. No, we've had a lot of success, really, for the dogs over the years, and we haven't paid much for them. And which is good, yeah. No, it's fantastic. I'd just get a real kick out of it, Peter, having a couple of dogs.
Good on you. We appreciate you coming on this morning. Congratulations on your success with Henry keeping and also taking out the leading owner. Great to have you back on the wireless, the airwaves. Leave us with a special from Gilbert's Fresh Markets. And if Leia comes up this afternoon, because she loves her fresh fruit and veg, will you look after her with a special?
Oh, we've got plenty of specials here. We've got new season nectarines in and peaches, and we've got some nice cos lettuces at the moment, cheap. I'll give you a tip to all the listeners: when you're buying your new stone fruit at the start of the season, the stuff that's all got all the speckles on top, Peter, doesn't really look the best. That's the stuff to buy because all the sugars come up to the top of the fruit.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for the tip. I'll look forward to going into the markets later on today and looking forward to Kennington tonight.
No worries.
Can you leave us with a song?
No music. No music today, Peter. But
all right, mate. Enjoy your day.
Thanks very much, mate. No worries. You too. Thanks, Peter, and thanks to Brad and all the boys involved and the dogs too. They've done a great job.
That's Tony Lopes joining us, Leia, and he's a really nice guy, as you just heard. And he was on the radio many, many years ago, as I mentioned, on a Saturday night, and he would entertain our listeners, talk to the successful owners after and trainers after they've won a race. And his entertainment, as you heard in that little skit there, where he could sing and he could do lots of different things to entertain us. So
can you sing
it's
as
good
well,
to see
Pete?
that he's having some success. Sorry?
Can you sing as well?
Can I sing?
Yeah.
No. Cannot sing at all. But what I can tell you, Leia, that we've got an exciting update coming up in regards to our greyhounds as pets, and Dr. Smet's about to join us in the studio to talk us about a big night coming up, the Summer Adoption Foster Evening on Friday, November 25. We've mentioned it last week on TAB Radio, and Dr. Smet joins us. Anna, good morning, and welcome back into the studio.
Good morning. Thanks very much for having me.
Anna, the Summer Adoption and Foster Evening program is happening on the 25th of November. Now, the key word being evening, as the gap is usually closed in the evenings. Is that correct?
That's right, yes. We tried a new format like this a couple of months back where we opened up, it was actually on a weekend. The people who work aren't always able to come in during work hours, so weekends or evenings are sometimes asked about. When we trialled it a couple of months back, it was hugely popular on a weekend, and now with the days getting a little bit longer, we thought we would trial a slightly different timing as well. So this one's, we're holding it early on a Friday evening.
Okay, and so just to clarify the time, Anna, it's on the 25th of November. It's a Friday, and it's between 4 and 7 p.m?
Yes, that's right, at the Gap Kennels in Southern River.
And it is a free event, however, public must register before they attend. Can you tell us how they can do so?
Yes, absolutely. So we do. We'll be having masterclasses and things like that. We want everyone to have the best possible experience coming in, and have the time to ask any questions they might have. If they go onto the Facebook group for the event, the Facebook event, there's links on there to register. So please do register if you're interested in going, and if you're interested in taking home a greyhound on the day, whether that's through fostering or through adoption, go ahead and fill in an application to adopt or to foster as well before the event, so that we can follow the usual processes and make sure that the right greyhound is matched to you for that day.
Wonderful. And you mentioned a masterclass. Can you tell us a bit about what that entails?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got our absolutely fabulous behaviourists at GAP. They have a lot of knowledge about how to help greyhounds settle into the home, common training issues that you might face. This is a wonderful opportunity just to see a training session and hear them explain how to handle certain challenges. So they'll be doing demonstrations on how to manage things like trade training. So if a greyhound likes to run away with things and you're not quite sure how to get it back, they'll go through things like how to do that in a positive manner to set you both up for success. How to manage dog interactions. I know last time it was a very popular option. The crowd was really, really interested. We had our Chief Racing Officer, David Hunter, there on the day, and I think he learned about how to teach a greyhound how to walk on a loose lead so he doesn't get pulled all over the place. There's lots of wonderful advice and tips from our very experienced behaviourists. So they can look forward to that as well if they come to the event.
Wonderful. And for those who are looking at adoptions, they're usually $350, but they're at a reduced rate on the evening.
Yes, that's right. So adoptions associated with the event will be $150. That's the adoption fee instead of the usual $350. But the application to adopt does need to be filled in advance prior to Tuesday the 22nd, just to give the team enough time to work through those and make sure that they are matched carefully to the right forever home.
Annie, you always make sure that the greyhounds do go to great homes and great people, and you do a great job with your team. How are the Greyhounds as Pets program going at the moment in regards to adoptions out to the general public?
Look, the credit is all with the Greyhounds as Pets team, who do such an incredible job. I think, we're seeing in the news reports from other rehoming groups that it is a bit more challenging at the moment after COVID. There was a great demand during COVID for adopting pets, and that's decreased a little bit now. So I don't think we're unique in feeling that. But that said, we've got strategies in place to make sure that people know about our greyhounds and that they know that they're, what wonderful pets they are. Every time the GAP Greyhounds go to any events, they're always the stars of the show, and we've recently, of course, we've been at the Royal Show, so that there was a lot of interest in the hounds. As always, they're always the delightfully relaxed recipients of a lot of pats and attention. So we're working on that to make sure that they are visible to those who are interested, and that the right information is out as well, so that they are people understand what it takes to adopt a greyhound too.
Thanks very much for coming in this morning. We really appreciate your time. And don't forget, everyone, to go online and register your interest in going to the Summer Adoption and Foster Evening on Friday, November 25. It's down at the GAP Program facility on Furley Road in Southern River. Thanks, Dr. Anna Smet, for joining us.
Thank you.
Anna Smet joining us in the studios of TAB Radio. And Leia, as we continue on, we're about to go across to Victoria. On Saturday night, we had one of the biggest races that I've seen, the build-up to this race of the shootout. And I remember the first one fondly because our own WA Greyhound Regimite won it back in the late 1990s. But what a race it was. There were 4 dogs in it, but everyone wanted to see the clash between the New South Wales star and the highest stake earning greyhound, She's a Pearl, up against the Victorian star in Wow, She's Fast. Let's go back and relive the moments from Saturday night at Sandown.
Ready. Racing.
Fast out, She's a Pearl. She's a Pearl led easily from Photo Man. On the outside, McInerney. Wow, She's Fast is sticking to the rail and driving through. She's a Pearl leads the way. They went 5.08 to the first marker. She's a Pearl. Here comes Wow, She's Fast. Right behind it. Out deep was Photo Man and McInerney. She's a Pearl leads the legs. Wow, She's Fast has got the inside. Drives through. Races away. Wow, She's Fast. Wow, She's Fast by 4. Beat She's a Pearl. A photo between Photo.
Wow, She's Fast. What a call it was, and what a race it was as well. Still get the hair standing up on the back of my neck. That is what greyhound racing is about. And Jackie Greenough's the trainer, along with her husband, Cal. And Cal's been good enough to join us on Greyhound Gossip this morning here on CAB Radio. Cal, how exciting was that on Saturday night?
Yeah, it was. The build-up was great. The crowd got behind the race, and it was good to see a bit of excitement in the greyhound track.
She's a Pearl, of course, earlier in the week had become the richest ever stake-earning greyhound, and she went past a couple of real smart types. Was there any nerves for you going into that race?
Look, I try not to get too nervous these days with all the racing on offer, but yeah, there was certainly a bit of a trickle there. So it was more so the build-up of the dogs that were in it, and it was just great for the industry, I think, to see that sort of race.
Down the back, at the start when you saw She's a Pearl ping out, I know it was her first look at Sandown, but she pinged out. Did you know that you were close enough to her?
Look, I was still getting over the shock of bumbling the start and stumbling off the mat, so it was more that I was worried that did she actually hurt herself when she did that? But when I saw her sort of pull ground off those dogs quickly down the back, and I could see her going better than the others, I thought, well, it's just a matter of getting a run. And then, fortunately, She's a Pearl left the rail a bit, and maybe it was because she hadn't seen the track, where she just drove up on the inside. But yeah, look, it was an exciting race, and the crowd actually roared when that happened, which you don't see at a greyhound track too often.
She is a star, Cal, and James Vandermark calls her the Queen of Victorian greyhound racing. And with her record at Sandown Park, it's pretty hard to argue with that, isn't it?
Look, she doesn't do much wrong. We don't over-race her because it's more about, with so much on offer these days with targeting big races, we don't sort of want to just put her around in anything. So we try and keep her, which it makes it a bit more difficult training her, because you try and keep her, toned for certain races, and it's easy in the other dogs because you're just basically running them week to week. But in her case, it's a little bit different, and we've tried to just make that a little bit more special. And she basically adapts most times, except for the couple of losses she had recently.
Kel, you mentioned that, there's so much on offer at the moment, so you kind of pick and choose what would be best suited to her. But with that being said, she's earned $1,200 in prize money, which is very close to bypassing Fernando
million.
Bell. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, 1.2 million. A couple of zeros missing there. Close to bypassing Fernando Bell. So with the races on offer at the moment, she's close to hitting that top mark.
Yeah, look, it's greyhound racing is just ridiculous, the money that's run for these days. So I guess, when you've got $1 million races on offer, and even a Melbourne Cup now worth $600,000, which is, fails insignificantly to these other races, it's just ridiculous amount of money. And, why wouldn't you want to be in the greyhound racing at the moment because of the sensational prize money?
You wouldn't get out of bed for $1,200, would you, Cal?
No, for $1,200, no, look, years ago that probably would have been my yearly wage, but...
Yeah. It's good prize money on offer. She's the $5 favourite with Tab Touch going into the Melbourne Cup. She's a Pearl at $6.50, Emron Boy at $10. How did she pull up from Saturday night? And you must be excited going forward, and obviously then you've got the Phoenix just around the corner as well.
Yeah, look, it's exciting times in greyhound racing, and we're looking forward to Saturday. Pulled up terrific, pulled up a treat, took nothing out of it really. It's not like racing takes that much out of it. I think mainly we look for injuries that have we actually got an injury that's going to slow you down, or you need to treat, or you can't race. And she's basically been pretty good, so it makes my job a lot easier that I don't have to worry about stopping and starting in that area.
We announced yesterday, Cal, I'm not sure if you got the news, we've got the Western Trilogy over here in WA, so 3 slot races for the Thoroughbreds, Harness and Greyhounds, $500,000 Sandgroper coming up on the 14th of April, and the slot holders are Ladbrokes, RAM Racing Syndicate, Sportsbet, who you're involved with the Phoenix, Sports Entertainment, SEN, Tab Touch, Team Britain and Friends, so Linda Britton and the Team Guest, so the Robartsons and Total Container Solutions. Great to have all these names involved. With you with Sportsbet, what's it like going into the Phoenix? Of course, you had the success there last year and you're going to back up with them again this year. Is there a chance that, I know it's still 4 or 5 months away, that you would consider joining up with Sportsbet and us trying to get you across here for the Sandgroper?
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. Believe it or not, they've already been on the phone asking what our intentions were. So they're excited about it. Sportsbet have been sensational to deal with. I can't believe how good they are for Greyhound racing here, and hopefully they'll be good over there. But, they've just been above and beyond whatever you would expect, and really good to deal with. Great people, happy to put everything into the sport and donate money to help our Greyhound racing. So, look, it's a great concept for Perth, and, it's sort of basically the similar as the Phoenix, and, why wouldn't you go ahead and do it? Because it's just fantastic for Greyhound racing.
It certainly is. So is there a chance that she'll still be racing at that time?
Absolutely. She won't be too old. I guess my biggest drama is we actually booked a holiday. I tried to book a holiday, which we try and have once a year, but it's been awkward with COVID and everything. But I booked it in that period of time. When you announced the dates, I thought, oh, no, it's right when we just before... Well, it's just after we leave for the holiday, so I would have to work in with somebody over there, which I've got a few people that I like and trust, and it's just a matter of if she's okay at the time, if she doesn't come on season, if she doesn't injure herself and ticks all those boxes, we'll certainly be going for it.
Great place to holiday in Perth. You could come across for the Perth Cup just before that and try and take all of our riches.
Yeah, that's it. Look, Perth is a great place to get a holiday, but look, it's interesting, and maybe that might happen, that we might have to come across before, give a look at the track if everything's going well, and it's just great to see Perth Greyhounds running a race like that.
It is fantastic. Just before we let you go, and we appreciate your time, and we wish you all the best of luck in the Melbourne Cup Series and the Phoenix with Wow, She's Fast. You were looking after Throttle, and unfortunately he went amiss. I mentioned the Robartsons. They've got Team Guest. They've got a slot in the Sandgroper. Can you tell us how exciting he is? Because you had him there for a few weeks, and you got him to trial at Sandown where he flew around. He's a very talented young pup, isn't he?
He's a very exciting prospect, extremely strong. I think most of the knocks on him were that he didn't have much early speed. He sort of, the second look there, he showed a lot more early speed and very strong to the line. Run home was enormous. He's a big talent who just needs a little bit of luck, and it was just a shame. He trialled brilliantly and then pulled up the next morning, and I had a look at the dog and I said, gee, he's got a little tear in his back muscle. So right up high, you wouldn't have picked it in the run. They actually did the video of the run, and what he did at the end of the trial, he actually tried to jump over the back fence, which is, Dave said he sort of does a bit of work in the squeaker locally, and I didn't know that. And he sort of got a bit excited and just sort of wanted to keep going, but he may have hurt himself at that period of time because he wouldn't have picked it in the run.
No, he's a very quick dog, and we're looking forward to getting him back early next year. Very much appreciate your time. Congratulations. Great race that was. Wow, She's Fast, She's a Pearl, and hopefully we'll get to see both of you in the final of the Melbourne Cup in a couple of weeks.
Let's hope so, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Good on you. Cal Greenough, great bloke, and to him and his wife, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we see Wow, She's Fast coming across for the Sandgroper next year. Leia, $500,000, and some great teams that have got slots. Ladbrokes and Sportsbet, a couple of bookmaking companies, SEN and RAM Racing Syndicate, Tab Touch, of course, who have been great supporters of racing in Western Australia, Team Britain and Team Guess, and then the Total Container Solutions. So I'm sure we'll be talking more about this, or I know know we'll be talking more about this leading into the race next year. Now, just before we wrap up, and we've got Cannington tonight. Don't forget a night meeting at Cannington now with the summer months coming. The first gets underway at 12 minutes past 6. I just wanted to ask you one question. The Melbourne Cup. I see Wow She's Fast, and I mentioned she's favourite at $5, $6.50. She's a Pearl. Your Greyhound is around $21. I'm talking about Panama Pepper. Is Panama Pepper going into the heats for the punters listening this morning? Is he going into the heats of the Melbourne Cup this week?
No, he's actually not. I mean, I'm not sure, Pete. We haven't really broadcasted it on air or anywhere really publicly, but Pepper had a bit of an injury after his run in Sydney, so we've had to rest him for a little while. He had to have some stitches and then they came undone. And so unfortunately then that, of course, extended his recovery a little bit longer. But he had a look at the track last week. I went and watched him trialled and he did well. He got around safe, no new injuries. So we're sort of slowly introducing him back into the racing scene, of course, after a bit of time off. But yeah, we're not ready to race him just yet.
That's good. We will keep him for the Sandgroper next year. And Vice Grip's about $34, listeners. I reckon that's great value for Vice Grip, who's flying. He loves Sandown. And his his kennel mate, Zarbel, is $13 for the Bold Treese. The heat's coming up this week. Mapunga Ruby's currently $7, Zipping Kansas at $8, and Marine Susie, Glinda Paddy at the same. So some exciting racing coming up this week, and exciting news, of course, Leia, with the Sandgroper slots being announced yesterday. I'm looking forward to having the day off, and I'll look forward to getting to Cannington a little bit later on tonight.
Wonderful. Pete will be joining you half an hour prior to the first at 12 past 6, the first for a trackside preview.
Thank you very much.